Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Albany Common Council Council Operations and Ethics Committee. Tonight we are joined by committee members Tom Hoey, Owusu Anane, and Megan Keegan. We're also joined by our staff, our Council and Director of Policy, Robert Wenner, and our Policy Analyst, Carly Johnson. We also have our Common Council President, Kelly Kimbrough, with us. And while he is not here for this, we are also joined by Garrett Schaff of the CPRB, who will be here later, but he is here also right now. This evening we're discussing Local Law J of 2026 by Councilmember Hoey, which is a local law amending Section 34-2, Public Notice of Meetings and Boards, Commissions, and Committees of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to adjusting the requirements to notice public meetings to remain in compliance with New York State open meetings law and allow for short-term notice emergency meetings. Councilmember Hoey, did you want to say anything on your legislation?
Yeah, and I've said it a few times, but when we came up with this law, and I believe it was originally 2019, if I remember correctly, we didn't put in for emergency meetings, and all of a sudden this year we did have a definite need for an emergency meeting, and again, I bring up that the council is always willing to make things work, and that's why we're here tonight, to see if we can get this passed to allow for emergency meetings to take place under certain guidelines.
Excellent. Do any council members have any questions on this? It's a pretty straightforward piece of legislation. See, Councilmember Keegan.
No, I was just raising my hand to make a motion.
Excellent. Go ahead.
I would like to move that Local Law J be moved out of committee with a positive recommendation.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Keegan, seconded by Councilmember Anane. I will take away Councilmember Hoey's normal role as he is the sponsor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Thank you so much. Motion to adjourn? By Councilmember Hoey. And a second? By Councilmember Anane. Excellent. Thank you so much.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Caucus. If our policy analysts could call the roll.
Adams, Anane, Ballerin, Brody is absent. Farrell,
Here.
Flynn is currently absent. Hoey,
Present.
Johnson, Jones, Keegan, Lumpkin,
Present.
Powell,
Here.
Robinson, Williamson is absent. Zamer.
Here.
That is 8 present. We're also joined by Council President Kelly Kimbrough, Deputy City Clerk Demetra Brown, Senior Assistant Corporation Counsel Martha Mahoney, Council and Director of Policy Robert Wenner, and Policy Analyst Carly Johnson.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So we will run through the agenda quickly, and then we have a guest that we'll welcome up. So this evening, approval of minutes from previous meetings. We have the June 1st, 2026 minutes to vote on. Next, in local laws introduced, we have from Councilmember Brody, Local Law L of 2026. That will go to Finance. Next, we have Local Law M of 2026 from Councilmember Ballerin. That will go to Human Rights, Human Resources. And next, we have from Councilmember Hoey, Local Law N of 2026. That will go to Finance. In local laws held, we will be voting on, from Councilmember Johnson, Local Law H of 2026. That has been amended and aged properly, so we will be moving forward on that. Next, we will be amending Local Law I of 2026 from Councilmember Keegan, but just an amendment. It will have to age. Following from Councilmember Hoey, Local Law J of 2026, that did pass through Council Operations and Ethics with a positive recommendation this evening, so we will be voting on that. We do not have any ordinances today, so that is a quiet section. In resolutions introduced from Councilmember Anane, we have Resolution 606226R, which recognizes June 19th as Juneteenth Independence Day. We all agreed to be co-sponsors on that at Caucus. Is that, everybody still is good for that? If I could get hands to show. Yes. Next, Councilmember Adams, Resolution 626226R, a resolution of the Common Council declaring the week of June 15th to be Black Restaurant Week, and we were all going to be co-sponsors on that. I just want to verify we're all still looking forward to that. Yes. From Councilmember Zamer, Resolution 626226R, that will go, a resolution reappointing Kirk Davidoff as a member of the Sustainability Advisory Committee. That will go to Planning. Also from Councilmember Zamer, Resolution 636226R, a resolution reappointing Andre Lake as a member of the Sustainability Advisory Committee. That will go to Planning. Next, from Councilmember Adams, Resolution 646226R, which will honoring the life and legacy of Madeline Steele and renaming a portion of Ramos Street in her honor. That will go to General Services. From Councilmember Johnson, Resolution 656226R, a resolution honoring the life and legacy of Reverend James Smith Sr. and renaming a portion of Franklin in his honor. That will go to General Services. From Councilmember Robinson, Resolution 666226R, a resolution honoring the life and legacy of Days Dobbs and renaming a portion of Thornton Street in her honor, which will also go to General Services. We have two resolutions via majority consent from Councilmember Hoey, Resolution 676226R, which will appoint James Cheney as a member of the CPRB. I'm going to ask you to speak on that in just a second, Councilmember Hoey, after we finish up the agenda. And from Councilmember Anane, Resolution 686226R, a resolution of the Common Council demanding the Capital District Apartments LLC to negotiate in good faith with the Thurlow Terrace Tenant Union. We will be introducing those by majority consent. We will be taking James Cheney's out of order as he is here. And that is our agenda this evening. I will turn it over to Councilmember Hoey, who will introduce Mr. Cheney.
Sure. Thank you, President Pro Tem. Yes, James Cheney came before the Public Safety Committee and passed out unanimously from the committee to be appointed. That was some weeks ago. They have done a full background check on him, the HR department, and it's come back very good. And we did have a shortage of members at the CPRB meeting on Thursday. That's why I asked for an MC on this. I think it's important. One of the members, Lillian Garland, needs to be trained to be able to work on the CPRB because they have to go through certain training before they can start. So I figured let's try to get James in and Lillian in, so when we meet in July that we'll have a full seat. Well, it's not going to be full, but we're going to have 7 members out of the 9 that day. So I'm hoping that everybody will support me on this MC and support Mr. James. And he's here now for any questions that any member of the council has for him. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mr. Cheney. We appreciate it. Do any council members have any questions for Mr. Cheney? Councilmember Keegan?
I just wanted to thank you for coming in to meet with us this evening and making the time, and also just wanted to commend you for being willing to serve your city in this capacity. It's not an easy job on the CPRB, and I'm sure that you will do it well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Cheney, if you wouldn't mind telling us just a bit about yourself, just so we obviously have seen plenty about you, but I'm sure the public would love to hear about you. We so appreciate your willingness to serve. It is, as Councilmember Keegan said, one of the most important boards that we have, and it's also not always one of the most exciting ones because it's a lot of work with it, so we deeply appreciate your willingness to serve on it. So if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your background, we'd appreciate it.
Initially, good evening, everyone. My name is James Cheney. I initially was born in Albany, New York, to move away and come back and be here the run of almost 24 years now. I've worked in Albany City School District. I have obtained different awards, such as the School-Related Professional of the Year for 2024. I've also got another award, which was the National Education Association Award for New York State, and represented New York State and Kentucky as of last year. I also, beyond teaching, have done special ed, gen ed, and athletics. Spent a large amount of time in the school district from elementary to high school. And I deliberate every day, all day long, as a ISS teacher, in-school detention teacher over at Albany High.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It sounds like you've got great experience to bring to the board, and I will say, as a parent of 3 Albany High grads, I appreciate the Nest sweatshirt.
Thank you.
We love our Falcons Nest. Well, with no other questions, we really appreciate your willingness to serve, and we'll be taking this out of order, so we'll have the opportunity to vote on it early in our meeting, and you're welcome to stay, and but also you do not have to.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do any members have anything else this evening? Councilmember Hoey?
Yeah, thank you, President Pro Tem. I went to the police graduation on Friday, and it was spectacular. We have 15 new officers, and what made me feel really good was one of the officers, Tanya Rodriguez, actually rode around the 15th Ward with me. Every once in a while, I get the opportunity to bring a cadet around and show them, what's going on in my neighborhood and stuff. And Tanya was voted, or I guess achieved, the top recruit honors for this class. And I did bring it up that we might want to, they did a video showing the whole, starting the class and ending. It's like a 10, 12-minute video. So I'd like to, if we can work it out with the police department, maybe do a public safety right after Caucus one meeting and show you this video, because seeing what they go through in training, it gives you a whole different perspective of the work that they're doing and the work of our trainers. And if we want a good police force that part of the community, that this is how they're working on it now. It's during the training that we instill into these recruits how important it is that they're part of the community and protecting and serving us. So we'll work that out, and I'll let everybody know when I get that worked out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I will now turn it over to Common Council President Kimbrough, who we've had some question on ICE activity in the city from members. And while we do not have a full update on that yet, as I noted in our last caucus, the administration is working on some more proactive things. So we look forward to that and appreciate their willingness to do that. But Council President Kimbrough did connect with Chief Cox on it, and he's going to provide a quick update.
Yeah, so just I had a conversation with Chief Cox about the department's interactions with ICE and Border Patrol, and he said there's basically none. The thing is, we don't participate in civil enforcement, which is what they do. That's how they're removing folks. So we have no connection to them. The only news or indication of their activity is through social media, and that's typically community members spotting ICE and saying, hey, they're here doing this or doing that, and the stuff they did at the school a while back. That's, citizens reporting out, and that's how the police are finding out. ICE is basically steering clear. They don't tell the department anything. There are no interactions, no connections whatsoever, because we just don't tolerate, we don't participate in their activities. So according to the chief, there's been nothing. They house the folks they grab in their own spaces, and so Albany PD has nothing whatsoever to do with that. And so that's the update, that we're not involved and we're not participating.
Thank you so much. If there is nothing else, we can take a few minutes to stretch our legs before the meeting begins at 7. Thank you.
Okay, the time is now 7 p.m. Let's get started. Okay, welcome to the Monday, June 15th meeting of the Albany Common Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams. Anani.
Present.
Valorant.
Present.
Brody. Farrell.
Here.
Flynn.
Here.
Hoy.
Present?
Johnson.
Present.
Jones. Keegan.
Here.
Lumpkin.
Present.
Powell.
Here.
Robinson. Williamson. Zamer. Here. 11 present.
Thank you. Okay, again, welcome. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed Resolution 676226R and Resolution 686226R and ask them to be introduced via majority consent.
A second?
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Okay, we start with Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 676226R and ask for its passage via roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the resolution.
676226R, sponsored by Councilmember Hoey. A resolution of the Common Council appointing James Cheney as a member of the Community Police Review Board.
Discussion, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. James Cheney appeared before the Public Safety Committee and was unanimously approved to be put on the CPRB. That was some weeks ago. And we just got back the Human Resources background check, and he came back perfectly clear. And we feel that it was important to get him on the CPRB as soon as possible. We had the meeting on Thursday had to be canceled because we did not have a quorum. So having Mr. Cheney on board will help us prevent this from happening in the future. And I do hope all the members will support his appointment. Thank you.
Mr. Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say I've known James for probably over 20, 25 years. He's been involved in the community for years with our youth. He's been an advocate. He's been a mentor. He's been a motivator. He's a great fit for this community police review board. So thank you. Thanks, James.
Ms. Farrell, please.
I would like to do two things. Number one, I would love to thank Mr. Cheney for his willingness to serve. As I had said earlier, it is a very important board, and we appreciate his willingness to serve on it, especially someone of his caliber. And secondly, I would also like to note we didn't actually move to take the resolution out of order. We just introduced it, so we probably should do that before we actually pass the resolution.
So that would be the motion. Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? No? Okay, motion passes. Now, that was your comment. Any further discussion on Mr. Cheney? Seeing none? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Hoy,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Lumpkin,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson,
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
12 votes. Okay, 12 members, the motion passes. And
I believe we might be taking the other resolution out of order to.
that's correct. I'll go to Mr. Nani next.
But I move that we take resolution 686226R out of order.
Okay.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Nani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed resolution 68, 62, 26, and ask for its passage on a roll call thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Nani. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
68, 62, 26R, sponsored by Council Member Anani. A resolution of the Common Council demanding Capital District Apartments LLC negotiate in good faith with the Thurlow Terrace Tenant Union.
Discussion, Mr. Anani.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, the Thurlow Terrace Union has been expressing a lack of safe and decent housing due to heat and hot water failures, unsecure doors, crime, and pets infection. There's been numerous attempts to reach out to management to address these concerns, but has failed flat. It is our hope that with this legislation, this resolution passing, that the Capital District Apartments LLC can negotiate in good faith and continue to support their tenants. These are tenants who are seniors, who are supposed to be living their golden days. But unfortunately, because of conditions being so terrible at Thurlow Terrace, they are pleading with the Common Council and pleading with anyone that will listen to get these matters addressed. They spoke passionately at our last meeting, and many of us, all of us, heard them loud and clear. And we want to show our support and stand in solidarity with the tenants at Thurlow Terrace. Today is Thurlow Terrace, but it could be another senior housing building. And I believe that it's important that we send a clear message that we support our seniors and we support our tenants to make sure that they have good living conditions. I want to thank them for coming for the second time and just want to thank them for their advocacy. It is not easy. I know many tenants wish they could be here, but is afraid of retaliation. But I just want to thank them because when you speak up, and it might be a small group, but don't underestimate what a small group can do. We've seen all throughout history. So again, I want to thank the Thurlow Terrace Tenants Union for their actions of requesting the Capital District Apartment LLC negotiate in good faith with the Thurlow Terrace tenants. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nani. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. So, I don't even know what to say. I just feel like our seniors are are the most vulnerable in this housing crisis. Like you're not the first group that we heard from, and it's painful to hear about some of your conditions. And I would just ask if someone could leave me a contact number to get in contact with Thurlow Terrace, because I thought I was supposed to get a contact number. I didn't, and so I apologize for me not showing up. But I will follow up. I will support this. It's wrong, and once again, through the Housing Committee, we're going to do everything that we can do to support you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. And again, I support this resolution 100%. Again, I have stand with United Tenants when they really did some advocacy for other seniors that in the same position that you are in. You know what I'm saying? Just fighting for your basic rights. And as I said to them, I say to you, just stay in the fight. And, you know, I thank, you know what I'm saying, my colleague, you know what I'm saying, for putting this piece of legislation forward, you know, urging, you know what I'm saying, the realtor just to take a look at it and try to meet your needs. Don't be discouraged. Stay in the fight, you know, be the loudest voice in the room, and, you know, you have the support of the Common Council.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Flynn.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with this, but I was hoping we'd be able to listen to the public before the vote personally, but I am 100% on board with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Councilmember Anani for putting this resolution forward and always being a strong advocate and ally of tenants in our city and in his ward. I also want to thank United Tenants and all the different organizations that have been helping different buildings organize and structure and put themselves in a situation where they have a more united voice and a more direct sense of community and direct sense of fight for negotiations. And most of all, I want to thank the residents of this building and the tenants who, it is not easy to come and speak against your landlord. It is not easy to come and risk your housing, your stability, your place of residence. And you all have done it months and months, and that is courageous. And I don't think that you get enough credit for that. Because when you're on the other side of being, when you are a vulnerable tenant in a bad situation, it is not easy to stand up for yourselves, knowing that there could be retaliation and knowing that there could be even an attempt to remove. So thank you all for your work. Thank you all for your courage, because that's what's needed to move the needle. It's for people to stand up and say, this is wrong, this is not acceptable, and we're not going to take it anymore. So thank you for that, and thank you again for my council member and for this body that has been time and time again supportive of protecting all of our residents, including our most vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballerin. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank my colleague, Councilmember Anani, for bringing this forward and reiterate the thanks to United Tenants and to every single person that's come in and spoke. It is not an easy thing, but it's so important, and we really appreciate the advocacy and this legislation. We're hoping that it will help move the needle. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani.
Yes.
Ballerin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoy.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Lumpkin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
12 votes.
Thank you. The motion passes. Okay, back on to our regular scheduled meeting activity. So we're on to public comment. Speakers will have 5 minutes to speak on any subject of their choice. When you sit, give us your name and address. Please direct any comments to the chair or to me when we're doing this. Council members aren't allowed or don't respond during this period of time. We have a time that follows the public comment where council members can speak if they so choose. So with that, will you please call the first speaker?
Canyon Ryan.
Hello, my name is Canyon Ryan, and I'm the Executive Director at United Tenants of Albany. I live at 25 North Pine in Ward 13. Thank you all for passing that resolution with so much support. That's really exciting, and I know that the tenants really appreciate it too. I want to talk kind of about tenant unions and code enforcement, because this has come up a couple times with some council members who don't seem to understand why a tenant union would form in a building if there's not a lot of code violations on the property. A tenant union is a source of collective power, and it's meant to address atomized concerns that are often siloed into individual guilt and bring people together so that they can commiserate but also address those issues rather than sort of, feel the pressure on themselves as though this is all their fault. Too often, low-income tenants live in substandard conditions and resign themselves to poor habitability since they themselves identify as or are identified as poor. It's often felt that we're getting what we pay for. I've lived in 8 apartments in the last 10 years since I moved to Albany. My first apartment was a room with strangers and ended in a gendered assault by the main leaseholder against my trans partner. I then lived in an apartment where the landlord brought prospective tenants to view the property weekly for the final 7 months of the lease. I then had an apartment where migraines left me practically on bed rest due to lead poisoning that was only identified when the 2-year-old child 2 floors below me had blood tests that showed that the child was getting lead poisoned. The landlord didn't identify us when we signed the lease of this, which is illegal, and also failed to remediate the issue, which is also pretty illegal. My next apartment had a roof rat infestation. I could go on, because I've been around, and generally, actually, I would say that I'm pretty lucky when it comes to renting in Albany. Today, I talked to an unemployed immigrant couple with 3 children, a brand new newborn, very tiny, cute baby. The building next door to their home was demolished, and since then, their rental has been slowly falling apart. The foundation is totally shot, the roof is disconnecting from the walls, and every step is met with a mighty creak, and they're scared to live there. And they said, "Can we call code enforcement?" And I said, "You could, but there's things to consider." So we wonder, why don't tenants with poor conditions just call code enforcement? In my situation, I didn't call because I was paying $400 for each home that I was renting for the first 4 years that I lived in Albany, and my income was not sufficient to the extent that I could just move if my landlord didn't renew my lease. And we didn't have good cause at the time, so there really was the opportunity for my landlord to see me calling code enforcement as trying to pick a fight with them and just not renew my lease, especially because more than 45% of tenants in Albany are month-to-month. And actually, right before we passed good cause in the city of Albany in 2024, my lease was non-renewed, and so I had to move, and I pulled my back, and I have these chronic issues since then. In fact, it still hurts right now. Was my lease not renewed because I was asking for a functional stove for 6 months, or how over the winter my apartment couldn't get above 68 degrees? No, the landlord didn't have to give a reason because we didn't have good cause at the time. And when I asked why you aren't renewing, they said, "We want to go a different direction with the unit." It was like a breakup text. And that immigrant household that I spoke with today, they fear the building getting shut down because I said, yeah, you can call code enforcement, but if they see how decrepit the conditions are that your family's living in, they're going to shut it down. That's not good. That's 5 people that are now made homeless. And I didn't ask, because it's none of my business, what their immigration status is. They just told me they were immigrants. But I also imagine that they fear the possibility that the landlord would call ICE once he sees that code enforcement has deemed his building either unsafe, unfit, thus demanding much repair, or having open code violations. So when a tenant union props up in your neighborhood, rather than call code enforcement and then inquire with the tenants, questioning them, well, why aren't you calling code enforcement? And when the tenants invite you to their tenant union launch and that's how you respond to them and say there's only 3 open code violations on their property, I recommend that you instead meet with your constituents rather than call code enforcement, stand with the union if it's being launched, and support the tenants as much as you can. And I know actually everybody in this room has done exactly that, so this is not targeted at any of you, it's not targeted at anybody in particular, well, it sort of is, but I just want to say, it's really important that the council stands with tenants, and what you've done today is a really good demonstration of that, and I know that you all really have led the way in terms of fighting for and standing up with tenants, and we really, really appreciate it. And I hope that this continues, and this is a really great sign with the new council to near unanimously, or all unanimously, co-sponsor this resolution. So thank you so much. I know that the tenants at Thurlow really appreciate it, and yeah, we're going to keep fighting, and appreciate you standing with us all, the whole way. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the next speaker.
Judy Doche. Judy Doche.
Good evening. My name is Judy Doche. I live in the 9th Ward. I watched with great frustration a recent meeting of the Finance Committee where more than 45 minutes was spent debating proposed local law I, which would make it clear that when there are transfers from the debt reserve fund, it needs to come before the Common Council, that counts as part of the 4%, consistent with the amendments we made maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I forget when. What was frustrating to me is I'm sitting here looking at General Municipal Law, Section 6H, which says the governing board of a city is the local legislative body. Subdivision 5 says, an expenditure from such reserve fund, this deals all with debt reserve, may only be made by an appropriation pursuant to a resolution of the governing board, this body, of the municipal corporation, and only for the payment of principal and interest on bonds issued by such municipal corporation. What happened in December should have come before this body not because of the charter amendment, but because of municipal law in addition to the charter amendment. I find it disturbing that Corporation Council, the administration, was arguing that you cannot pass that law without it going to a referendum because, oh, you'd be impacting the authority of the elected officials on the E&A. What happened in December violated the authority of this body to approve that transfer pursuant to municipal law. I found it also disturbing that Corporation Council stated that the law, unless it went for a referendum, would be null and void. In other words, projecting, we're going to ignore the law even if you pass it. Which isn't surprising because we have municipal law 6H that this administration and the treasurer in particular and the E&A board ignored. Why you guys have to spend all this time, 45 minutes, talking about something that you already have the authority for, and for the administration to basically say they're going to ignore. That transfer was also not supposed to happen because municipal law also says that when you've already paid the debt service and provision has been made in the current budget from funds other than a reserve fund, then no expenditure may be made for the purchase or payment of the same from such reserve fund during the current fiscal year for which the budget was adopted. In other words, not only couldn't they approve it, you guys could not approve it. This is because you're not supposed to be using the debt service for anything other than paying off debt. And if you already paid off the debt, then you're obviously going to be using the funds to cover some other purchases. And that's exactly what happened. The debt reserve is not the personal slush fund of the administration. It is public funds, and they have a specific purpose. And what they were used for in December was not one of those purposes. Personally, I've seen this before, where the law is ignored and this body is ignored. You pass resolutions and they go and they do, their own thing. And I'm not blaming this administration. This happened last year, happened while I was on the Common Council, and it's very frustrating. I think you should be passing a resolution declaring what happened in December unlawful, illegal, null, and void, and tell people that this is your authority and you don't need them to be telling you all these arguments about why it's not your authority. Thank you for listening.
Sean Scully.
Good evening. Tonight I come here mostly just to say thank you. I have lived at the Caucus now for 7 years or so. About the same for the people who stand behind me, who work with us to make what we have. But we have our problems. I was having a med appointment over the computer, and the doctor was saying, well, wow, that's a nice place you live. And I said, yeah. And then he said, but is that the place I sent you twice in like a relatively short amount of time to get bloods drawn because you were bitten by 2 separate people? And I said, yeah, that's it. One time it was a resident, and one time it was someone who wanted to come in. But we've had everything from things stolen. We've all had that to facing verbal assault. You get used to that almost. But when it came to a more serious physical assault that I had, somebody said to me, I got up, and someone said, now you've got to do something. And I knew I was thinking about doing something with the Tenants Association for a couple of months. I guess I was just waiting, and this was the chance that was presented to me. And I just want to thank them, because without your help, the people who are behind me, the volunteers, would not be able to help us securely. We'll not be able to help get packages and stuff to different people. We'll not be able to stand at the door and keep people out. Even help people when they are down, when they fall down and need help. We need people at the building, and now with their help, again, thank you for it. We should have that. We also have to thank tonight especially the volunteers, the ones on the other side of the wheel now. The ones who are here and the ones who are also back at 230 Terrace. And I'm just hoping that with the help that you give us, people ask, well, which congregation do you say, guys? I don't have one. And the guy who does my hair suggested, you got 230 Terrace. Well, if that's the case, I'm proud to serve him. And with your help, the people behind me who I've known now and had the pleasure and honor of knowing for 7+ years will be able to get our building not only looking at what the doctor saw on his computer outside, but also safe inside too, for all of us out here. Thank you for your help, and thank you for your assistance.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk?
Herman Johnson. Herman Johnson.
Thank you, Chair, Assembly. My name is Herman Johnson. I'm from the Thurlow Terrace as well. But my coming here as was the finishing of did I hear them say that it has been compromised, that the union will be fair? Anyone? No?
So,
I was coming down to say thank you to the United Tenants that supported us all this time, and thank you for the showing that democracy still works. Justice grinds slowly, but it does grind. So I'm not here to make any noise about anything else because of what we've gone through has been talked about. So I'm here to say just thank you all for what you've done. Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Chris Sue.
Hi, I'm Chris Sue. I live in Albany, and I volunteer with United Tenants of Albany, and I'm a member of Capital District DSA. I was asked to read out this letter from Judy, so I will read it as written. So, to the government officials attending as well as absent from this meeting, my name is Judy Bratt. I've been a tenant at Thurlow Terrace Apartments since 1998. My concerns at Thurlow Terrace Apartments since the sale of the building are as follows. 1. The safety and security of the building is seriously compromised. 2. The active illegal drug use and sales by tenants both within the building and on the property. This in turn compromises the safety and security of the building. The main entrance door that is supposed to be locked 24/7 is frequently broken so anyone can walk in. It usually is not repaired for days. There's almost daily theft of packages. I personally need to purchase Ring cameras for my door and inside my apartment, and I need to pay monthly for cloud storage. When I told the rental manager that I purchased cameras, he said, and I quote, "I encourage everybody to get cameras for their apartments, just to be sure not to put holes in the walls. This is instead of actively addressing the problem. I need to buy cameras after I've had $100 stolen right out of my safe. I've also had food routinely gone missing and wash clothes disappear. It got to be so bad that I expected to find something more missing upon returning from appointments. and even while I was only downstairs attending to my wash. This has occurred particularly over the past year, during which time I had no aid or visitors. I also had somebody knock on my door at 2:30 in the morning several times a week until I got the door camera. Soon after I installed it on my door, it recorded a non-tenant attempting to knock at 2:30 in the morning. When he raised his hand to knock, he saw the camera and quickly left. I have no more knocks at 2:30 a.m. Someone recently, staff was hired while still wearing an ankle monitor after being released from prison. He was given an apartment at Thurlow Terrace as well as master keys to the apartments. I personally witnessed him entering the apartment across the hall unauthorized without knocking. When I confronted him on it, he exited the apartment immediately and said, "Oh, I'm only sweeping the hallway." As far as illegal drug use and sales, I witnessed as recently as last Monday a tenant purchasing drugs outside the main door at 7 a.m. I was threatened by a drug dealer who entered the building to make a sale on 2 separate occasions as I was attempting to enter my apartment. Staff has told me in person and has given me names of tenants that staff is aware of actively using and selling illegal drugs within the building. Nothing is done, and the building is no longer safe to live in. I read this because, as a long-standing tenant who is physically disabled, my personal safety is at risk. I ask that you do whatever you can to help resolve these issues. Respectfully submitted, Judy Bratt, Apartment 7N. I do want to thank the City Council members for passing this resolution in support of the tenants. I just want to say that support is not just a one-time thing, it's a continuous action, and so long as the issues aren't resolved, the tenants will be there fighting, and we hope you will be there too. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please.
Regina Belser.
I'm Regina Belser. I'm a tenant at Thurlow Terrace and have been for going on 15 years. You know, I was born and raised in Albany, but I've lived all over the country. And I've lived in all kinds and sorts of buildings, including down in the city, all like that. And I can tell you, I have never seen the kind of abuses the tenants have been subjected to as they have in our building. You know, the natural thing for a regular person to want to believe, or to believe, they're brought up that way, is that a person purchases a building with the expectation that they will, you know, get their profit, that they will maintain and improve. You've got an operator here, and it's a very dangerous harbinger of what you can expect coming up from the city. They don't want stable long-term tenants. They want an endless succession of low-life operators coming in who don't can be evicted tomorrow without much problem because they either don't pay their rent or they do things that are easy to get them out on. They like that kind of tenant because they get that monthly paycheck, you know, the HUD-enabled paycheck, which pays for my rent too. But I'm a long-term tenant type, and a lot of the long-term tenants have had to leave Thurlow Terrace because of intimidation, outright abuse, physical assaults, which are ongoing in that building. And the horror of it is, when you look for some organization or agency within the city or county, or even the state, to address what is, by any definition, elder abuse. Somehow it's in somebody else's ballywhack, but not theirs. This is an ongoing problem, and there is no good faith effort to meet us where we are. We're considered chump, you know, the peons born to fill the pockets of these people, and interchangeable, and when you go, we can get another one. And, you know, it's very difficult. I never would have truly understood it when I was younger. But when you're up there like 78, 80 years old, and you want to leave a building like this, and you don't have a pile of money, it's very difficult to do. You have to get on a waiting list. Could be about a year or more, except for somewhere else that you can afford. And, you know, there's really no help. And it just goes on, and all the time they know that you can be abused and little things, little pranks pulled on you. A very good friend of mine, and this is not untypical, has had, no exaggeration, about 85% of her worldly goods stolen from that place. Now, no diamonds here, nothing like that. The things of daily living, clothes, cooking utensils. This is all part of an intimidation campaign by one of the employees that we have complained and complained and complained about. And this complaint has gone on for years about this individual. And there's no help for us anywhere because we don't have a voting block. You know, we don't know somebody. You know, when I first moved in there, it was a decent building. It really was. It was kept up within reason, and there's common sense. You know, the transactions of everyday life were done in a positive way for the most part. But ever since these folks bought the building.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Pardon me?
Your time has expired.
Okay.
Thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Please call the next speaker. That's it? Okay, that would be the end of us receiving public comment from the public. We'll start with members. If you want to make comment, Mr. Flynn.
I just want to say that I'm looking at social media right now, and today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and it's fitting that you came today to talk about the elder abuse of people, and I feel that the state and the county and the city can do better for our elder. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Mr. Johnson.
Again, I want to say thank you for coming down here and speaking up. And as I listen, as I put things together, as I go back, I just think about the pilots that are connected to these buildings. When these pilots are allowed to expire, the rents just go crazy. You know, life as you know it in the building is never the same. So, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, you know, if on some level that this was done, you know, by design, because I just think about the people from Livingston, the old Livingston middle school that came in. I think about Bleecker Terrace. I think about the people from Hudson Ave, you know, and a lot of that is the elders and the seniors. So we're going to have difficult conversations about this subject because it's a lot to expect an elder to be able to be prepared for the changes that come that they're hit with. You know, to imagine living in a building for 30 years and then all of a sudden your life just changes, as you know it, as far as your living conditions. So, again, thank you for coming down here and speaking to what you're experiencing. But please know that we are actively trying to come up with solutions, and hopefully we don't allow the pilots to put our renters in situations that we have been facing the last several years. Thank you.
Okay, any further? Seeing none, we'll move right along. We're looking for reports of standing committees. Ms. Keegan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance, Assessment, and Taxation Committee met on June 10th to discuss Local Law I, which was passed out of committee with a positive recommendation as amended, as well as various other matters related to the city budget. We also have meetings scheduled out for July 1st, July 15th, July 29th, August 12th, and August 19th.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell for minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice the minutes from June 1st, 2026, and ask for their approval.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoey, all in favor?
Aye.
And then I also have a report of a standing committee.
Okay.
This evening, the Council Operations and Ethics Committee met to discuss Local Law J from Councilmember Hoey. It was moved unanimously through the committee with a positive recommendation. We expect to vote on it this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further committees? No? Okay. Okay, moving along. Consideration of local laws. For Ms. Brody, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilmember Brody, I notice Local Law L of 2026 and ask for its introduction.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the local law.
L of 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Brody, a local law amending Chapter 99 website financial data of the Code of the City of Albany by updating the existing financial reporting requirements applying to the city auditor and adding new requirements applying to the treasurer and Department of Administrative Services.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to Finance.
Okay, thank you. Next, Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that local law M of 99 be introduced.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's local law M.
Local Law M 2020 of 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Ballerin, a local law amending Part 36 Commission of Human Rights of Chapter 42 Departments and Commissions of the Code of the City of Albany in the relations to designating an end-of-term date for commission members.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to the Human Rights, Human Resources Committee.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, next, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Local Law N of 2026 and ask for its introduction. And if any members want to be co-sponsors, please let either Carly or Bobby know. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the law.
Local Law N of 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Hoey, a local law amending Article 12, Veterans Exemption of Chapter 333, Taxation of the Code of the City of Albany by adding Section 333-107.2 to provide for an additional exemption for the primary residence of disabled veterans.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to Finance.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Local Law H of 2026, and I ask for it to be read and voted on.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Local Law H of 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Johnson, a local law amending chapters 42 Departments and Commissions, 48 Equal Opportunity Protections, and 187 Fair Housing of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to the adding protections against housing discrimination and increasing the enforcement of fair housing violations.
Thank you. Discussion, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. I just feel like our residents, our tenants shouldn't have to wait for the state to enact fines on landlords that aren't being responsible. There's opportunities for the city to hold landlords accountable, and that hasn't been happening. And so we're hoping that this resolution will lead us in that direction where there could be some accountability on behalf of the renter when the landlord is not meeting their expectations. So I hope everyone would support it, and thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Ms. Farrell?
I just wanted to thank Councilmember Johnson and Councilmember Keegan for this legislation. I think it's incredibly important, and I look forward to co-sponsoring it.
Thank you. Ms. Keegan?
Amanda Aarons, can you please stand up? Councilmember Johnson and I could take a lot of credit for this legislation, but we owe it all to our fair housing officer who is with us this evening. I couldn't be more grateful that you really thought about the issues that you face every day at work and the ways that we as a city can better advocate for tenants and better support the work that you do. Because without you, this bill wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be voting on it this evening. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to recognize you and recognize all of the hard work that you have done in your office. So thank you.
Madam Clerk? Oh, any further discussion?
I would
Mr. Flynn?
say that she was very informative during the committee meeting. Her knowledge was incredible. Her research with Buffalo was amazing. So, she's a great asset to the city of Albany. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams,
Yes.
Anani,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoy,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson,
Yes.
Keegan,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Lumpkin,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Zamer,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
The motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Hoey?
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Local Law J of 2026 and ask for its passage via roll call vote.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the local law.
Local Law J of 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Hoey. A local law amending Section 34-2, public notice of meetings and boards of commissions and committees of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to adjusting the requirements to notice public meetings to remain in compliance with the State of New York open meeting law and allow for short notice emergency meetings.
Okay, discussion. Mr. Hoey?
Thank you, Mr. President. As I've stated in several meetings, this is an important amendment to a law that we passed back in 2019. We didn't think about that there might be emergency meetings needed. This just came up this year, and the council is fast to react and make sure that that we're allowed to operate under emergency conditions. So I hope my colleagues will support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoey. Further discussion? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams, Anani,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoy,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Keegan,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Lumpkin,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson,
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
12.
Thank you. The motion passes. Okay, next, there are no ordinances, so on to resolutions.
Mr. President, just a quick note. We're supposed to amend local law I.
It's not on the agenda.
It was removed from the active calendar. We did note it in, but it is on the agenda, but it's just not on the active calendar.
It's mine.
Ms. Keegan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to notice local law I and request that it be amended to include the word fiscal in subsection D, paragraph B, as discussed in our meeting on June 10th.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? No. Motion passes. Legislation is amended. Okay, now we're on to resolutions.
Resolutions are held. Local laws are held as our ordinances.
Okay. Starting with resolutions, Mr. Nani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 6062.26R and ask for its introduction and passage on the roll call thereon.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
606226R, sponsored by Councilmember Anani, a resolution of the Common Council recognizing June 19, 2026 as a Juneteenth Independence Day in recognition of June 19, 1865, the date of in which news of the end of the slavery reached those enslaved in the southwestern states.
Thank you. Discussion, Mr. Anani.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is an honor to continue to introduce this resolution, a day that marks the end of slavery in our country, and honor the resilience and strength and contribution of African Americans throughout our nation. Juneteenth reminds us that freedom, justice, and opportunity are valuable and worth protecting and advancing for every member of our community. It's to recertify on how far we have come while acknowledging the challenges that remain and recommit ourselves to building a more inclusive and equitable future. As we celebrate today, let us honor those who came before us and cherish the freedom we enjoy and continue working to create opportunities, not just for the generation, but also for future generations. I also want to give a plug for the Albany Community Land Trust Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration, which is going to take place this Friday, June 19th, 2026, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Swinburne Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, you're all co-sponsors, so we'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. On to the next, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to notice Resolution 616226R and ask for its introduction and passing.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the resolution.
Resolution 616226R, sponsored by Councilmember Adams, a resolution of the Common Council of Albany, New York, declaring the week of June 15, 2026 to be Black Restaurant Week.
Discussion, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to commend and notice the hard work of our restaurant owners here in the city of Albany these last couple of years since this resolution has been passed, highlighting the culture, the food culture, the contributions that has led to Albany's culture and in terms of food, with a lot of businesses, coming and going these days. I feel like it's just very important to find a week to highlight these businesses, to support them in any way that we can. This year, where we are planning to do a panel discussion to really talk about community issues while we're excuse me, while we're attending some of the establishments. So if you have not seen the flyers, happy to share that with you. There's more information online to come. And I appreciate everyone that's working on this to make Black Restaurant Week a week that stays here in the city of Albany. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? You're all co-sponsors, so we'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next, Councilmember Zamer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 62.62.26R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, please.
A resolution of, oops, I lost my spot, sorry. Yep. A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Andre Lake as a member of the Sustainability Committee, Advisory Committee.
Skip.
I'm sorry, that one's actually
The one after.
the one before Daniel Kirk Davidoff.
Okay, so sorry. Resolution 626226R, sponsored by Councilmember Zamer. A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Daniel Kirk Davidoff as a member of the Sustainable Advisory Committee.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to planning.
Okay. Next, Ms. Zamer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 636226R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Andre Lake as a member of the Sustainability Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to planning.
Okay, next, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to notice Resolution 646226. Yep, that's it. 646226R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the life and legacy of Madeline Seal and renaming a portion of Ramos Street in her honor.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to General Services.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 65.62.26R, and I ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the life and legacy of Reverend James U. Smythe, Sr., and renaming a portion of Franklin in his honor.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. That legislation will go to General Services.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I recognize Resolution 666226R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the life and legacy of Daisy Dobbs and renaming a portion of Thornton Street in her honor.
Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. That will go to General Services as well.
Thank you. Okay, we're to the miscellaneous portion of our, or unfinished business portion. Any? Mr. Johnson.
I just want to say, this short and sweet. Go New York, go New York, go. Congratulations to the Knicks.
Any further comment? Okay, Mr. Robinson.
Please, thank you. I would just like to recognize Mrs. Dobbs' family. They came down today, and it was a misunderstanding. They was, I told them that today would be the proclamation, and I just hope that they come back, and thank you again, and we got you.
Yeah, we'll get it done. Yeah. Ms. Zamer?
Thank you, Mr. President. Also, really quickly, piggybacking on what Councilmember Johnson mentioned, I also would like to give a lot of kudos to the administration for the watch parties they put on in the city of Albany over the course of the series. They were unbelievable. They exceeded expectations. The vibes were so good, and it was really, it was something different and unusual for the city of Albany, and I hope that it continues. So just wanted to give her her due for that.
Mr. Flynn.
Since the Dallas fans here, I've asked Carly to hopefully we can put the DGS committee meeting June 24th to 25th so that we can vote on it July 5th, hopefully. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Ms. Farrow.
I just wanted to say extra thanks as well for the watch parties, and they're continuing on. They're doing them for the World Cup as well. Not as New York centric, but also exciting. I definitely commend Mayor Pliers, and I'd also like to give a shout out to Keith Morales, who Mayor Pliers appointed as, he's been in events for a long time, but is now head of events, and has really been doing an amazing job with coming up with new innovative ideas that I appreciate. Mayor Pliers is, she's part of the whole process too, so it's really, the lights are definitely coming back on.
And just,
Mr. Anani.
I'll say a few things, but also again, just want to echo the sentiment that was shared. Thank you, Mayor Place, for putting all the events together, but also want to thank the county executive for partnering with the city to do an event at MVP Arena as well. So I don't know who's watching, but thank you, county executive. Thank you, Mayor Shear. I said, Mayor Players.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, one more thing, and Councilmember Anani, I don't know, you mentioned the Swinburne Juneteenth event, but there's also the African Heritage Parade starting off at the Sunshine School on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And we'll see if we can get some more details for that, so council members are aware of it if they want to be part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Hoey.
I was going to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're done.